Greetings, weary travelers and fellow story gremlins, to the Reaction Sleepover. This is the series where we get cozy and we react to stuff. Dang it, I almost got it good! It is day 103 of wearing the same sweater, because I know how to maintain my cozy gremlin queen status. No, really, it's cold, and this is just cozy.
And I have matching pants.
Anyway, we got more wedding stories today. So, grab your cozies and snackies, and let's head on into it. Cousin Bride doesn't invite me, but many others, and later asks for money. Brilliant. I have a cousin from Georgia that is around 12 years younger than me. She comes up to the large northern city I live in and stays at my place each time she visits, which def saves her at least $350 a night. For real, hotels are so expensive. Let me just stay in a box under the bridge. I'll be fine. I'll be protected from the rain. I'll have my dumpster fire. It'll be nice and cozy. Let me just fully embody the gremlin spirit I am. Spirit? Like ghost of gremlin past, present, and future? Watch out. If you're not enough of a gremlin, I'm gonna come for you. I allow this because I wanted to have a relationship with her, along with help a girl out with saving money. Yeah, that's super nice. I was married 10 years ago, and she invited a guy to the wedding without telling me she would have a guest. Ooh.
Hooray.
You're like, would have been nice to know. You just fully commit to like, too bad, he doesn't get a chair, he has to go stand in the corner. This past year, she got married to that guy and told her family to keep it a secret from anyone who was not invited to the wedding. Like me. Oh, love you too, cuz. Oh, that must have been a punch to the gut. Joke's on you, I'll show up and stand in the corner. Just watching. But my dad and his new girlfriend were. She has never met his new girlfriend, and there's a larger issue with this since my mom passed unexpectedly a year ago, and my dad started dating this woman a few months after she died. Yeah, that's interesting. Assuming you guys are pretty close, because sometimes cousins aren't close, but it sounds like you are. Yeah, she would like come and stay with you and stuff. For you to not be invited, but significant other of your dad to be invited. Benefit of the doubt! The little shoulder angel trying so hard. Like, yeah, significant other of the dad. It makes sense for her to be invited too. What about you? Again, you seem close. Yesterday I received a married postcard with photos of the wedding. Imagine if there's like a group photo. And on the back it asked for money for the new couple. Oh, wow. Along with that, they didn't write anything personal at all on it. Like, what the hell? Are you that busy you can't be bothered to write a note if you want something? Anyway, looking for good ways to call her out on this. That's a little yikes. And then there's an update. It just starts with, I reacted. You never know what tone is like, but it just feels so like, I did it. I sent her a message, which she responded to basically blaming her mom for sending the postcards out saying, everyone's asking her for info on where to send gifts. And I said, you didn't know your mom was going to send a postcard with your wedding pics and a link to donate? Yeah, fair question. I suppose it's possible that the mom just took care of it, because sometimes that just happens in like wedding planning and all of that the couple just delegates, you know, stuff to other people, and that's fair, that's fine. But it like you say in this next sentence, who is asking where to donate they couldn't call you and ask? And who specifically decided to send the card to me, knowing you all were keeping the secret? Was that your mom also? Like maybe the mom just didn't know that she wanted it to be a secret from you, which again, that's weird. But yeah, like delegating someone to just take care of stuff, that's fine. But be good to keep track of who is getting sent what, because that's pretty awkward in instances like this. Because yeah, you're not entitled to be invited to the wedding or anything, but I don't know, it definitely feels weird to then like be asking for money from a cousin that seem to think that you were at least close. That even though, yeah, you're not entitled to be invited, that would still hurt, you know? It's like not the worst thing in the world, but it's like, rude. Kind of rude. Gremlin spirit of the past deems rude. Oh, but someone pointed out, but no information on why she expected everyone to keep a secret from you? That she was married? A major thing happening in her life? Because I agree, that's at least really weird. I've broken the immersion. I ran out of time yesterday. Also, isn't my hair fun? I left it in braids overnight. All right, nerds, let's keep going. I reject your cake and substitute my own. What audacity am I about to see? This is a short tale about one of the wildest things I've ever seen at a wedding. We're off to such a strong start. Not the worst wedding I've ever been to, but certainly the most WTF. About 15 years ago, I was a guest at a big New York, New Jersey wedding. Between a New Yorker and a New Jersey? Yes, between the states. No, between two people who are from those places. I barely knew the groom, a cousin's cousin. My cousin's boyfriend's dog's nail groomer's wife. Yep. I'd barely met, and mostly I was invited since I'd been living with my aunt at the time for college and she was close with the groom. The church wedding service goes off without a hitch, and the bride, groom, and their families are doing some quick group photos outside while most of the guests head off to the cocktail hour and reception. That's where the first sign of trouble starts.
That's where it always starts. I need to observe the cake stealer.
The bride's mother starts throwing a fit that the bride's family should have priority for photos. But they're both getting married. You both are important. Like, they should go first? I feel like that normally happens anyway. I think it just so happens that this time you start with the groom. Why does that matter? It's not gonna take that long. She actually physically stopped the photographer. Oh, what are you doing? Are you throwing the cake at them? That's what happened to it. From taking a group shot of about 15 people to make them wait for her family to be ready. Gah. Photos can take a bit of time, but it doesn't take that long. Girly pop. You need a lollipop because your blood sugar seems low. That's why she's stealing the cake. Yeah, the bride looked mortified. Poor thing. That is so embarrassing. And the bride's father and groom's parents had to step in and keep mom from causing a scene. It's like, it's just weird when people do things without regard to how it's going to affect, especially in this case, the main people, the main reason that this event is even happening. I totally get wanting to make sure like your side of the family gets photos. That's gonna happen. Trust the photographer to do their job. That poor person just like, give me a sec. Somebody let slip that the bride and groom had paid for the whole wedding themselves, and the bride's mom was furious that she had been cut out of planning after she had repeatedly tried to change things behind the bride's back. Wow. I don't blame them for wanting to do it themselves, because then they don't have to worry about her butting her head in. She seemed to try to anyway. And that depends on you. Either, if you want to pay for it, or if you want, like, traditionally parents to pay for it. Either way's fine, but I bet that was nice. We're just gonna take care of it. With that smoothed over and photos done, the reception gets underway. A lovely event at some reception hall with a garden, open bar, the works. A garden? Oh, that's so pretty. Suddenly it turns into, I almost said Ice Princess. That's the wrong princess movie. Princess Diaries, where they fall into the fountain. As she's sneaking out with the cake, she falls in. An hour or two in, they're getting ready to serve food, and suddenly they're shouting from the direction of the kitchen. An entrance hall, a lot of shouting. What now? The bride's mother had replaced the cake. Who does that? Unless there's a sidebar and the couple is like, hey, we actually don't really like this cake. Can you like do us a solid? That'd be completely different. She's just, I don't like this cake. I'm gonna do mine instead. Do you need some crumpets with that audacity? And was attempting to move the original cake, a beautiful 2-foot tall number, out of the building on a serving cart. That's half my size. I am 4'9". That's like half my size. Let's just say for giggles that the mother-in-law is my height. Can you imagine? Someone trying to secretly cart something out that's half their size. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't. Only a raised lip on the tile floor had kept her from wheeling the cart and cake out the door on a mad dash to the parking lot. What are you doing? What are you doing? There's no need. One of the groomsmen going out for a smoke had found her struggling to get the cart over a small bump and raised the alarm. That's right, the venue has a cake stealer alarm because this weirdly happens a lot. Can you imagine? He's just sitting there and you just see in the corner of his eye, sees the cake moving and then sees her right behind it. They lock eyes. There's just a really awkward moment for a second. She goes, "Don't you dare." His eyes swipe to the alarm, just a big red button. Continues eye contact as he slams it. Like some terrible heist movie, her whole plan was to steal a several $100 gourmet masterpiece and replace it with a cheap Walmart-looking cake that had presumably been in the trunk of her car all afternoon. Have you ever heard of the sun? It's like during the hottest part of the summer in Texas in a black car. Imagine everything's like melted off, depending on how like melty it even is. Let's say she was successful in replacing the cake. It's all melted, so she just puts a smiley face on it. Perfect. With the message, "Joke's on you, losers." She's already gone. Once they see the cake, they just hear the skidding of the car. And hoped nobody noticed. All because she was mad she didn't get her way. Wait, so this was retaliatory? She didn't get aware about the photo, so her first thought was steal the cake? And the funny part is, she probably got the pictures. just fine. Suffice it to say, after much shouting in the hallway, the real cake was rescued, the imposter cake disposed of into her face, and the bride's mother spent the rest of the reception sitting in her car sulking. What in the world? A whole cartoon, dude. Like, is this the plot to Tom and Jerry, one of their episodes? Sure sounds like it. Honestly, the bride's poise at the whole thing was impressive, but I gather this probably wasn't the first time her mother went a little crazy. The rest of the reception was a blast. Nobody seemed to miss the mother much, and it was certainly one of the most memorable events I've ever attended. I don't think I'm ever gonna forget this story.
Like, pull yourself together, Elastigirl.
The feel-good finale today is something completely unrelated. This is camping with a beaver. I have just had one of the most amazing experiences of my life. I am truck camping in Vermont as I am a trailer worker and finishing a project in the state. I am camped at this canoe boat launch as all the state parks are closed for the season. Being next to a wetlands waterway, I immediately looked for some beaver activity and found some old chewings. Nummy nummy num. I actually came across a video of a beaver cutting down a tree. It was really cool. Like, they'll always stop and listen to which side it's gonna fall, and then they run away if it's gonna fall on their side. Judging by their age and the lack of any noticeable damming, I don't think it'd be spelled with an N.
Those damning beavers. They cast curses if you trespass into their land.
As they should.
We should stay out of their way.
I assumed they had moved out a few years ago and that the area was inactive. I made my dinner and was enjoying a pipe and looking at the twilight sky.
That sounds serene.
As I heard someone chewing. Hello. I immediately froze and listened intently, ears a perk. Then I heard it again and it was louder. I froze my mouth wide open and face stuck in a huge smile. As I slowly and silently walked towards the noise, I heard some splashing and waddling through tall grass, and then to my right, I heard another beaver. There were two of them. They were married. You were having your dinner, they were having theirs. One working on a smallish sized brush tree, and the other working on some smaller branches. I barely contained my joy, but kept silent, as you should. It's the best way to be around wild animals. Like you observe happily, but you leave them alone. Good job. It was near pitch darkness at this point, and I couldn't see anything but could hear them perfectly as they were but 10 to 15 feet away from me. Wow, they're pretty close to you, huh?
That's the best, when you're just like vibing with some wildlife.
After about 30 minutes of silently listening and trying to get a few recordings, I heard a tail slap further to my right, and yet another beaver had emerged. Yes, potentially a family. It's the baby. Oh! This one crossed the wetland stream, dividing us, and was now on my side. I could hear it walking around and chewing limbs. So close. I thought I may have died and gone to heaven. You sound so sweet to be around. Soon after the first beaver felled its tree, I could hear it delimbing the tree and moving through the branches. I remained outside for another 15 to 20 minutes with a huge smile on my face, staring at the stars, listening to them work, and thanking the universe that I had been here tonight. Oh! That's the best! Unfortunately, it's currently 20 degrees, and as much as I would love to stay out and listen to the beavers all night, I must curl up in my sleeping bag. You typed this in the moment. You are so cute. So now here I lay, all bundled up in the bed of my truck, and telling you all this amazing life experience I just had. I wish you all to have something similar in your life. That's something I will never forget, and I'm so grateful that I was able to experience it. That was so cute! I will always happily take a feel-good finale over the tomfoolery. I like doing these. It's nice to end with a smile. What's funny is when I read the sentence, oh, I hope you all experience this. I've experienced trying to sleep and there's wildlife nearby. It was when I was having a sleepover on a trampoline and then a bunch of raccoons went under it and started messing with us. And so me and everyone was starting to jump in fear and screaming. It's like the middle of the night. And they eventually went away. Well, where it started is there was a girl that was in on the sleepover, but she was getting mad for some reason. And she started to walk back home at first, and she just lived in the neighborhood. So, there was a few houses away. But for some reason, she then begrudgingly came back, but then she refused to sleep on the trampoline. She decided to sleep on the ground for some reason. And then we were all just sleeping, and then suddenly we heard her scream, and we're like, what? And then I think she started screaming raccoons, raccoons! And they were under the trampoline, and so she hopped on, and we were all just jumping, panicking, because it's what are teenage girls supposed to do about this situation? Not as peaceful as yours. I'm glad yours was much more pleasant than mine was. I love raccoon videos, though. They're so funny. But yeah, eventually they went away, and then we were like, good night, everybody. All right, well, that is it. As always, thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate you. I hope you're doing well, but if not, I hope this video's brightened your day at least a little bit. If you have any stories about weddings or beavers or whatever else you want, you can either email me or there's links in the description. And our comment of the video is Lar in a crisis. I love that name. I have an important fact you need to know. The term for mixing up the beginning of words is a spoonerism. Spoonerism? That's adorable. Thank you for that. I love that little trivia fact. That's like when you have a platonic crush. That's called a squish. A squish. Ugh, sometimes humans are so cute. And coming up with definitions for words, they're like, how about this? And everyone's like, yes! Take care of yourselves and each other. Do your best to be a good human, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!